Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to another episode of the Strictly Bball podcast. We have a very special episode today. We are going to be talking about our top 5 NBA rappers. So, Joe, kick things off with your number 5.
This is a very interesting thing to rank. We haven't really done anything like this before. I'm going to start with an honorable mention, though, before I go number 5. Victor Oladipo is my honorable mention. With the definition of this being rappers, I couldn't put him in the top 5. But if we're just talking about most talented, musical artists, I think Oladipo would probably be top 2 or 3. He was top 5 in the Masked Singer show, but he's more of a vocalist than a rapper. So I'm putting him as an honorable mention. And my number 5, Marvin Bagley. He has a couple good songs. I didn't listen to too many, but I listened to a couple, and both of them are very solid. He hasn't put out as much music as the guys above him, but I think if he did, he might even go up a little bit on this list. My favorite one is called Look at Me Now by Marvin Bagley. It's not my favorite song, but I think it's pretty solid. But yeah, I think he has potential to rise up this list. He's not really panning out well as the guy that was drafted before Luka Doncic and is kind of fizzling out in the NBA, but maybe music is his next step. But that's my number 5, Marvin Bagley.
That's hilarious. Yeah, I don't really know a lot of too many NBA rappers, but that actually is my number 5 as well. And the reason why I'm conscious of him being a rapper is in 2019, he was kind of going back and forth with Dame, who's the best NBA rapper. Obviously, Dame Dollar's going to little foreshadow to who's going to be higher on this list, but Damian Lillard is a much better rapper. Yeah, he was first brought to my attention with the video you mentioned, Look at Me Now, which was posted by Bleacher Report. There's a little bit of tension on that, but that's a song that comes to mind. But he's very talented when it comes to music. I think he's a solid artist and good enough to the point where he made number 5 on this list for me.
Yep. So we agree on that one. I think there's definitely a step up to this number 4 spot. And number 4 for me is Lonzo Ball. There was the funniest thing that I have to bring up here is early on in his career when he was putting out a ton of music. Yeah. Early on in his basketball career, somebody brought up a stat that he had released more songs on Spotify in his first year in the NBA than he had made free throws in that year for the Lakers. He was 20 for 48 from the free throw line, 41%, and he had released 21 songs in that year. So he put out more songs than free throws made. But That being said, I do think Lonzo is a good rapper. ZO2 is the most catchy song. And he definitely has some good songs. So he's my number 4.
My number 4, I'm actually curious to see if he's on your list or not. Steven Jackson. He's put out a couple songs. I think he's a very good artist. And I really wasn't too aware of him being a rapper up until I did a little bit more research on the best rappers or my favorite rappers in the NBA. And then if there was one song I'd recommend listening to, it's called Cars and Clothes. I think that really emphasizes how great of a rapper he truly is. So he's my number 4.
I'm going to be honest, I did not even consider him.
Have you heard of his music or that he was?
I don't think I've heard any of his music at all.
I think it's pretty solid. I feel like I listen to a lot of the guys who have put out music, and for some reason I just was a pretty big fan of his work.
Okay, he may be a snub for me, but I didn't even consider him at all. So I don't have him on my list. But number 3 for me is Iman Shumpert. One of my just favorite retired NBA players. I just love everything he does. He was on Dancing with the Stars this year, and I think he won the whole thing. He's on a bunch of podcasts, super good storyteller. He's also married to Tiana Taylor, who is obviously is a singer. So he's got the musical talent there. I just think he's really good. His music videos are really creative, and I also think he's just a good rapper. The best one is Handlebars. I think I just before this watched 3 of them. That was my favorite. Handlebars, really good music video, and yeah, Iman Shumpert. I think he's a solid rapper.
Okay, nice. Moving on to the top 3. I'm gonna kick things off with number 3. I'm going Lonzo Ball, baby. I love his songs. Back in high school, I used to actually play them all the time before basketball games. That is a fact. So there might be a little bit biased there. But ZO2, it is the one where it's BBB. That's the whatever. I think it's just probably called BBB. ZO2, BBB. My favorite, Super Saiyan. They're all good. Yep. Triple B. Hold on one sec. Sorry with the commotion, but Triple B, we have to represent. Big fan my whole life, not just of the brand, but Lonzo's music. So yeah, Lonzo's number 2.
I'm surprised you didn't put him higher.
Yeah, I had to pay respect to the top 2 because I think it's pretty obvious, but Lonzo Ball's number 3.
Okay. Yeah, I had him at 4, but maybe I should have put him 3, but I definitely think you were a bigger fan than I was.
Yeah, I definitely was.
All right, so number 2 for me is Shaquille O'Neal.
Okay.
Is that not your 2?
It's my 1.
Okay, really?
Yeah,
okay.
it is my 1.
So Shaq Diesel went platinum, his first album. 4 studio albums he released. He's just like the old school rapper. He even got Biggie as a feature on one of his songs.
Jay-Z too.
Yeah, okay. I didn't even see that one, but I still think my number 1 is better, but Shaquille O'Neal, you got to pay respect to his success. Probably has the best numbers as a rapper of any NBA player. Part of that is because he's Shaq and he's just so popular, but yeah, Shaquille O'Neal is my number 2.
I think it's a pretty solid pick, and I'm going to assume your number 1 is my number 2, given how much you love this person as an artist, as a rapper. Damian Lillard's my number 2. He's put out multiple albums. I think it's 4, if I'm not mistaken. Personally, I love his music, and honestly, it's something that I would choose to listen to on my own doing, rather than something that's just like on the radio and you just don't want to listen to it. Like, I would have no issue listening to his music. And Moneyball is my favorite song from him. I know you're a big fan of that, and you've played that actually in the car multiple times as well. But Damian Lillard, I'll talk about Shaq once we get to my number 1. But yeah, you kind of hit it spot on with Shaq. But yeah, I think Damian Lillard is my number 2.
Okay, I definitely thought we would agree on number 1, but let me ask you this: so you said you would listen to Dame Dollar.
I would have.
Would you listen to Shaq? Would you listen to Shaq music just in the car?
I guess it depends. Well, no. To answer that short, no, I would not. But
okay,
if we're saying
you're paying respect to the numbers,
I'm paying respect to the numbers. I'm paying respect to the platinum, going platinum with your first album, getting features from Biggie, Jay-Z, and all the other things that he has done with his rap career and all the success he's had. I would prefer to listen to Damian Lillard, but like I said, I had to pay respect to Shaq.
Okay, I respect that as your criteria.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, my number 1, you said it, Damian Lillard. He's the most talented rapper of all these guys. I mean, he started his own record label. He's put out 4 albums. He's got features from Snoop Dogg. Kobe featuring Snoop Dogg is one of his newer songs that's really good. Moneyball, like you said, is my favorite. I mean, he's performed live at the 2019 All-Star Game. And
that was good too. I watched that live.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of rappers are not good live performers, and that was a good performance, I think. And I mean, he's also like in commercials, like rapping for State Farm and the Hulu commercials. He's the most talented rapper of any NBA player ever, so I had to put him at number 1. And I would say I didn't look at the numbers for Damian Lillard, but I'm sure they're not as big as Shaq, obviously, but I think his just talent and me liking his music has made me put him over Shaq.
Which is fair. I think we're both in agreement that like all the accolades and success, that Shaq would be higher up on that list, but both of us would prefer to listen to Damian Lillard, so that kind of, we got different ends of the spectrum with our 1 and 2, but I think it's fitting.
So that's going to do it for each of our top 5 NBA rappers. Thank you guys for watching this episode. Make sure you subscribe, leave a comment, like the video, all that stuff, and we'll see you guys in the next episode.
See you, boys.